Trigger is the newest support inside of Zenless Zone Zero, and a lot of questions were being raised on if she would be used with more than just Sanby, or can she be used with other attack DPSs as well? Can she be used outside of that, maybe even on your anomaly teams? Prydwen has just dropped their newest tier list for Zenless Zone Zero. Let's get right into it. Let's take a look at this. So, side tangent. Corn's buffs in Hollow Zero are actually so fun. They are so fun. I can't wait for more characters to get buffs. Nothing too much to say here. I can see Seth going up to 1.5. There is a little bit of tech with Seth. It's nothing too complicated. It's just you can dodge counter into holding his EX skill. You can do it from a parry. You could do it from, there's like a few ways to mitigate the like frames, I guess. But just when they're, I mean, I guess there's no one here, right? Yeah, I would probably put Seth in 1.5. I'd put him at 1.5. Ambi moves down, but that makes sense because Trigger exists. Colada goes down, which makes sense because Trigger exists. But we'll talk about this side more in a bit. Moving over, Soldier 11 doesn't move. And you have to remember, Obel Squad is the same squad as Trigger. So she can work with her, obviously, but I mean, I'm surprised they didn't like, I mean, I don't know. Soldier 11 just suffers from like standard banner character syndrome. Like it sucks. Like, and then Evelyn exists, right? So it's, her damage is just really like mediocre compared to a lot of these other DPSs. And most of the time, if an enemy's weak to fire, you want to, an anomaly character, just burn them over and over and over. Someone like Bernice, right? So I guess Ellen 1.5 hasn't changed. Haramasa goes up, and he also has the expert tag, meaning for Zenless Zone Zero specifically, apparently it means one spot. So one spot would take him to T1, right? So he has T1 performance if you play him optimally. And like I said earlier, I did learn how to play him optimally. I did build him, spent a lot of resources building him just so I could learn what that meant. And it's just keeping up uptime on the orbs. And then obviously he's most like most attack agents, all of his damage, specifically more for him, you want to blow everything during that stun window, which that isn't necessarily the case now with Trigger existing, because she's always giving you perma uptime on having at least 1.35 damage at the very minimum. It depends on the enemies what their stun value is by like default, but 1.3 to 1.5 is usually what it is. But yeah, and then we also see a Lycan goes down, but that makes sense because Qingyi went down. Let's look at the reasoning for moving down Qingyi. And obviously Lycan and Qingyi can't be in the same tier, so they moved. Lycan moves down as well, but that makes sense because standard banner syndrome and a version 1.0 syndrome. Qingyi is our first character to get out of T0 in a very long time. However, enough time has passed and enough DPS characters that don't synergize particularly well with her, as well as a stronger stunner agent options, have taken the spot that she usually takes, i.e. Trigger. Don't get us wrong, it's not because Qingyi is an NT0 that she's by any accounts a bad agent. She retains big team flexibility and performs notably well in S0 and B teams more recently. I mean, but obviously in those teams, if you do have Sanby plus Trigger, Unless you were like me and lost your 50-50 on Sandby banner, but you did pick up Trigger just because you know that character is going to be kind of future proof for other Aftershock DPSs in the future. You could be in that position. It's just unfortunate their banners were like back to back, right? But it is what it is. Plus she's still the most desirable with Haramasa and Juyon, for sure Juyon, over any other stun options. So I think yeah, she is most desirable because you want to stun as quickly as possible. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can use Trigger with Haramasa for sure, but you kind of want to just like stay on, like there's no quick swapping going on, right? You just want to stay on Qingyi, get the stun, and then do all your stuff with Haramasa, right? So whereas like you can't, like, you do have the option of running Trigger because like I said, having perma uptime on stun multiplier, and then also just increased stun gauge from Qingyi, it's gonna be extremely beneficial for him. Let's see. S0 and B has Trigger and Pulchra to outperform Qingyi in most cases anyway. That is another thing I want to talk about. Double stun. Double stun is something I've been testing a lot. It's something that I speculated even before the release of Sandby being actually really strong. And it is something that's really strong, right? It is so satisfying seeing Trigger and Pulchra do their off-field stuff while you're just on your main DPS. It's so fun. I implore you to try it out if you are because everyone has a Pulchra now. If you did pull Trigger, try out double stun. It's actually so fun, especially in like Hollow Zero or something, right? Miyabi, Evelyn, Yanagi, Bernice don't make particularly good use. Yes, that's true, for sure. So basically what they're saying is Trigger has more universal teams than Qingyi. Qingyi is like just a couple teams. And then obviously we have, I mean, we can just take a look at it right now. We have Trigger added as a T0 stun agent. Trigger's one of the most impressive stun agents the game has yet seen, possibly the most impressive. So the only other T0 stun agent is Lighter. I did a lot of testing yesterday. In my personal opinion, she is the most impressive stun agent. Just offering, look at this, a 35% stun damage multiplier that has permanent uptime and operates off field, which gives freedom to a bunch of DPS characters she can pair with, not to mention her ease of use, possibly the easiest stun agent we've seen yet. Even without big vertical upgrades, she's undoubtedly T0 because her kit gives a lot of team versatility, daze, and buffing potential. Possibly the most out of any stun agent, which is impressive. And then last time, if you guys remember, Silver Soldier Anby was on the watch list. So she's still on the watch list. She gains more than most through the inclusion of Trigger in her teams, giving her more of a boost. We're now considering her. Oh, they're considering her for T0. But okay, see, I don't know that because I lost my 50-50. That I don't know. That's actually insane. They're considering her for T0. Okay, so she isn't being watched to go down. She's being watched to go up because they had this watch list previously before Trigger was released. But yeah, it makes sense that they're watching. That's impressive. That speaks volumes, by the way. The fact that she's being watched for T0 when Miyabi exists speaks volumes. That is actually insane. But yeah, I mean, just watch my last video. I'm not gonna go over it too much about like these units in T1. But that's the thing. If they do push her up, like I just don't like both of these. Like they're it's the same photo. It's the same photo, dude. but like one of them crits and has higher like scalings and higher potential. I don't know. And I am an M6 Piper enjoyer. I literally have a video on my channel dedicated to Piper, like teaching people the intricacies of Piper, right? And I don't know. It's just weird seeing them in the same tier, but I get it. There's no like in between, but because Evelyn has expert tag, I could totally see either Jane or Jian moving up. I think if you play these characters optimally, they definitely have potential to be in 0.5 for sure. Whereas like Piper doesn't. There isn't too much like to learn with Piper. The only like optimal thing is like you can cancel basic 1 into the EX special, basic 2 into EX special. And then also making sure to never use her ult when an enemy's when you're just about to get your assault proc, right? Because you want to save it for the next assault proc, because typically her ultimate gives you an instant assault proc. There's like little things like that, but that's all I got. Let me know what you guys think about the tier lists. Obviously the supports are the 2 best supports in the game. I don't see, maybe when we get another support in the future, maybe Caesar will be on the watch list to be moved down. But that support would have to be on par with Astra for that to happen. But there isn't too much else going on. Everything's pretty much the same. But yeah, definitely give out double stun a try. It's really strong. And then Trigger, I am so impressed with this character. I've been having so much fun. But that's enough yapping for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel on the road to 700 subscribers. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.